Well, this is another thing that you go on to write, is that it's not just your beliefs, but you share these beliefs. You share what you call your comfort zone with people.
Yeah,
and the moment you come out of that comfort zone, you create a void.
Yeah.
And then, as you said before, you have to be prepared to lose people.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you come out, they're going to close that void.
You have to be prepared to lose everybody. You have to, and some of them you won't just lose them; they'll attack you. They'll attack you on the way out. So you have to be prepared to do it. Everybody wants to hate you, but when you're successful, everybody wants to say they sat next to you at school.
So it's people who have a dream, who are sharing, who are going through sort of the regular 9 to 5s, and they're sharing that space with people. I think they do have to ask, who are the people that I'm sharing with? How would they look at me if I succeed? Are they encouraging me to succeed? But a lot of the time as well, your success also shows them where they could be.
What they could do.
A lot of the criticism isn't necessarily, it's coming from a place of envy. Yeah. Without them even realizing.
Sometimes it's coming from a place of fear. Sometimes it's coming from a place of dissonance. People are embarrassed. People were embarrassed by my ambition, because I always had that feeling we could do anything, but it got battered. I was battered like a beach seal. But there were other people that encouraged me. There were other people that said, it's great, it's exciting. It wasn't, but that fear of being pretentious, that fear of, even right up until recently, I could feel bits of it. When we did the musical at the Belgrade Theatre, I did a musical based on Tom Clark's album, We'll Live and Die in These Towns. And I can remember a moment when I sat with the designer and the exec producer in the theatre, and they said, by the way, Geoff, we're not going to do it in this space, which is a bigger space. We're going to do it in that space, which is a smaller space. And I can remember this feeling rising up in me, like these were two middle-class professionals treating me like a piece of shit. And I promise you, part of me got up and said, fuck yeah, and I walked out. And I managed to contain myself, and my friend Hamish, who was the exec director, said to me, how do you feel about that? And I said, not good. And he goes, really? And he knew. And I gathered myself, and I said, look, I'm sorry. I said, I'm overreacting. I said, if you think it should be in that space, we'll put it in that space. But I felt like I'd been massively disrespected. I hadn't, but this working class chip rose up, and I didn't know it was there. It rose up and it wanted to sabotage the whole thing. If I'd have kicked off then, I'd have lost the musical, I'd have lost the space, I'd have lost my respect with those people. So I went back home, I meditated, and I wrote to them both and apologised and said, I overreacted, I apologise. I said, wherever you want to put it, if they want to do it in the car park, I'm happy. But, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, that working class chip, and I was like 58 at the time, that working class chip still came up. But in that moment of watching it and then dismissing it, I was able to clean it a little bit more. So maybe it'll keep coming through. Maybe there'll always be points where it'll come through. But if it rises up, it's dangerous for it. This energy, this semi-autonomous thought form is very vulnerable when it presents itself for you to engage it. Because either it rises to claim or be claimed. If you're able to observe it and not identify with it, it will dissipate. It's weakened if it's not engaged. So I was able to dismiss that. I ended up working for about 3 months with Hamish and the designer, and they were the nicest men. There would not be a part of them would have thought like that about me. Not even a part of them. It was just what was in me.